started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
Hey, cum guzzlers. Welcome to City Girls Make Do, your number one podcast for Sex and the City and hot takes and even hotter women. I'm Alex, aka 2 a.m. Seduction.
I'm Stephanie, aka your foreskin fanatic.
So today we're talking about the aptly titled Old Dog New Dicks. And what we're on episode 9?
Yeah, season 2, episode 9. Mm-hmm.
So how are we finding it? How are we going?
I love this episode. I think when we started this podcast, I was dying to talk about this episode. Like, this was up there for me.
This episode has haunted me for however long I saw it. The first time, we'll get to it, but like the Sharpay line especially, I can't look at a Sharpay and
no kidding.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carrie and Big had a very boring storyline, so maybe we can just glaze over them.
Yeah, we can kind of just, the thing is, every time they have a story together, it's the exact same story, so...
It does not change. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't develop. There's no arc for either character. Yeah. And it's mind-numbing.
Every time we think there's an arc for an episode, it's like we basically just come full circle. Like, the whole episode, every single episode is Carrie being like, I have this problem with Big because he's not enough for me. And then Big doesn't change. And then they get to the end of the episode and Carrie's like, I'll live another day.
Oh, nothing happened, but I still love him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's completely stupid. So let's get into it.
All right, let's get in.
So we start with a voiceover of Carrie saying that New York is said to have the most beautiful women in the world. And then we have, I don't know, I guess it's kind of a slow-mo of like model-esque women walking towards the camera and men just ogling them. Yeah,
pretty much. I feel like New York doesn't have a higher density of hot women. Like, I feel like it's kind of the same everywhere, but I don't know.
Like, if you have a city and they have, they're known for an industry of, like, modeling or acting or something where there is kind of a physical standard.
That is true.
But, I've never heard of any place being like, this is where the most beautiful women are.
Yeah, same. And like, it's true that New York does have like a higher, like fashion and modeling industry, but it's still such a small percent of the population who's actually in that industry. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before, but we'll go with it.
I believe you, Carrie. You're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not valid, so don't say that. If anything, like, Los Angeles is known for having beautiful people because of, like, all the plastic surgery and everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, yeah, I guess there is like, more acting and stuff out there, too, so.
But anyway, yeah, it's basically just women getting, not catcalled, but just stared at creepily.
That sounds like just a day on the street, so.
Yeah. That happens to all women, don't matter if you're beautiful or not.
Yeah.
But just sad realities. And yeah, she's like, that's maybe why men spend so much time staring at them. And then we see that Big also likes to stare at women, even when he's with Carrie.
Like, I mean, everyone checks people out. It does seem a little bit rude to do it very obviously in front of your partner.
Very in front of your partner and like extremely, it's just rude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rude to do it anyway, but it's rude to do it in front of someone you're in a monogamous relationship with.
Yeah, he's not doing it subtly at all. Like, it's incredibly turning his head fucking 360 degrees and being like, awooga. So
yeah, he turns into that wolf, like his eyes pop out and steam comes out from his ears. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's gross. And Carrie clearly is like, she doesn't like this. You can tell she's very annoyed by it.
It's the disloyal boyfriend meme.
It literally is, yeah.
And yeah, so then it's very quick. We go straight to Carrie enjoying a pretzel with Samantha and talking about how she doesn't like how Big stares at other women.
Yeah, which I think is a pretty valid complaint. And Samantha, though, is like, okay, that's not a real problem. Like, is that the biggest problem in your relationship? Because if it is, maybe you should just stop complaining.
She has a point, because that's not the biggest problem in their relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, this is far from the worst thing going on in the relationship right now. Carrie, maybe you should shift your attention to one of the other things. But
it's curing the symptom and not the cause.
mm-hmm. To cure the cause, you just have to surgically remove the big. So
just cut off his head.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
And that's pretty much their conversation. I mean, they talk about it just in circles. Like, Samantha's like, oh, it's not a big deal. And Carrie's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they don't get anywhere. That's the whole conversation. Yeah.
So then we move to Miranda and Steve.
Yeah, this is interesting. Well, not really. It's not that interesting, but they're dating. Their schedule is way off because, you know, he works late and she works early. So, you know, he gets off work at like 2 a.m. and she's pretty much asleep, but then she wakes up early for work, and so they're way off.
It's basically like him coming home and he wakes her up, and coming to her apartment. Not home for him.
Yeah.
And she like opens the door and he's like, oh no, I woke you. But it seems to be later than 2 a.m. because he said they were going to close the bar at that time, but some Japanese businessmen came in, and Japanese businessmen are a cheap joke.
Yeah, that was kind of like, oh, okay, Steve, but...
And like as she's sort of walking, she stubs her toe.
Yeah.
This was weird.
Yeah, I guess the whole thing is just like everything is kind of annoying to her right now because she's like very tired, and he wants to chat with her and she's just kind of like falling asleep while he's talking, which like mood.
I thought you'd be disgusted because he does kiss her bare toe.
Oh yeah, I was disgusted by this because he does start to like rub her feet. And
as soon as that foot was in frame, I knew you were going to be upset.
Yeah, I wrote you in parentheses in my notes, so.
Yeah, and he gives it a little kiss. I thought maybe she broke her toe, but she just stubbed it, so I don't know why it needs a kiss.
I don't know.
And then, so it's like them waking up in the morning as she falls asleep with her foot in his arms. And then we see him like in bed together, and like Carrie's voiceover where she's like, Miranda has to get up at 7 a.m, but unfortunately so does Steve.
Yeah,
there's like it's a double whammy dick joke. It's back to back because
it is,
because then she says the only thing Miranda likes inside of her this early is takeout coffee.
You know what, I relate so hard to Miranda in this episode.
Let's get it out.
Okay. Morning sex is the worst thing in the entire world. It's worse than murder.
Why?
Because, like, the first thing in the morning when you wake up, like, before you've had a cup of coffee, before you've had breakfast, before you've had a chance to, like, really, like, lie there and open your eyes, all I want to do is be asleep still. Anything that makes me not be asleep is the worst thing in the world, including if someone was like, let's bone right now. Like, if you've had a little while where you've both been awake for a bit and maybe you're chatting and you've been cuddling, then that's fine. But if it's the first thing after you wake up, that is the worst thing in the whole world.
I feel like first thing when you wake up only exists in movies because, it takes me like 20 minutes to be awake.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever woken up from like a good sex dream? You're kind of in this like euphoric haze.
Even if I did, I'd probably rather just fall back asleep than have real sex. Like, I don't know. The idea of waking up when I'm asleep is just so bad to me that nothing could make me want to. Except maybe breakfast.
I really
breakfast
think,
will.
I don't know. I'm one of those people that like, if I have to wake up, if you wake me up from something, like I'm lucky in that I don't tend to do anything in the morning, so I kind of wake up naturally and I feel very at peace, and you know, that's the way to wake up, just whenever your body decides it's had enough sleep.
Yeah, that's nice.
If someone wakes me up, I don't know, I feel like if you put like a cat in front of me. I love cats. I could probably kill one if you have to wake me up early and I haven't slept.
Exactly.
So fair enough.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like
Put
nothing.
a small enough animal in my hands, I will kill it if it's early.
Yeah, like nothing. Literally the only reason I will get out of bed other than work is because I'm like, oh, I'm going out for breakfast and I really want to eat that breakfast. That's it.
No, even then, I like food. I don't like brunch enough to wake up.
I do like it enough to wake up, but yeah, no, it's just, I totally agree. When someone else wakes you up and it's not natural, it just sucks ass. Like my stepdad used to wake me up in the morning when I was like in middle school. He'd come into my room and he would just turn on the light and be like, up and at 'em. And I was ready to kill every single morning. I hated it so much.
I think like a couple of weeks ago, because I have a class on Sundays, which is the worst because it means I can't do anything on a Saturday night. And I have to wake up at like 7:45, which is early for me and is also early for a weekend for whoever. And my mum woke me up because she understands that, if I'm not woken up gently, then I'll be pissed off for the entire day.
Yeah.
And she came in, she woke me up, and the first thing I said, I went, fuck off. Just completely, like, not even drowsy, just stowed away, just fuck off. She was like, good morning.
Talking to someone in the morning is just painful when you've first woken up. Like when someone's asking you questions in the morning and you're just, don't ask me questions for like 30 minutes after I've woken up.
I don't know how anyone does it, frankly, but more power to Miranda and more power to Steve, I guess, for being like, it's 7 o'clock. Like, this doesn't really make sense. If he's just finished work, like, I understand not wanting to go straight to bed, but I don't think he's going to be awake at 7.
Yeah, and then I guess he could just go right back to sleep too if he doesn't work until late again, but like, I don't know. It's just so tiring. Like, imagine wanting to bone that bad. I don't know.
No. So then we get on to the most memorable plotline of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
With Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I think I always say, when people ask us, oh, which of these girls would do this? It's always Charlotte, because they always seem to load Charlotte with the weird storyline.
Uh-huh. Oh, they for sure do. And yeah, they're always incredibly memorable. And it's just her reactions are so visceral that, like, they're so memorable.
She manages to make something which would be weird for anyone else just funny. So,
yeah.
Kirsten Davies doesn't get... Kirsten Davies? She doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, she really doesn't. She's incredibly good as an actress, so...
So she's dating this new guy, Mike, who's a restaurant critic, famed for his 5 whisk rating system, which doesn't seem that original.
Yeah, I don't get that at all, but... I'm happy they didn't bring it up again because I thought it was stupid. So
it's just replacing stars with whisks.
Yeah, that just seems more annoying to put to print, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, he says you're a 5 whisk girl to her, which is weird. But they are making out, and there's a lot of make love this episode, which I didn't care for.
I don't care for that at all. I hate to hear the phrase make love. Just no. If you're old enough to be having sex, you're old enough to call it not making love.
And like when you're not in love, it feels like a weird thing to say.
Yeah, because the idea of like making love to me sounds just kind of like incredibly passionate and like special, and not just like
a half drunk, 2 pumps and a squirt.
You're right, but I hate to hear it.
You haven't heard 2 pumps and a squirt before?
I mean, I'm sure I have, but I feel like I haven't heard it with that verbiage.
She's like, let's make love and listen to Death from Above. But...
Looker's,
are you banging something?
Looker's banging on his litter box door.
Anyway, yeah. So she like unzips his pants and he's uncut.
Yeah, she has this face, like, she feels it and she can feel that it's uncut. And then she looks down and she's like, oh, it's. And he automatically, right off the bat, knows what she's thinking. He's just like, uncircumcised. Is that okay with you?
I mean, I guess because it's more of a rarity in the States, but
Yeah.
this is an overreaction if there ever was one.
Yeah, because after he says, is that okay with you? She's like, no, I mean, yes. And, yeah, she's incredibly freaked out by his foreskin. And, Carrie's voiceover says the only uncut thing Charlotte had ever seen was the original Gone with the Wind.
Oh, of course she's seen the, 4-hour version of Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, that's a very Charlotte thing. But
yeah, no one needs to watch anything that's 4 hours long, and a movie that was made before 1997. That's my choice.
yeah,
Because Titanic is fine.
literally the only movie I want to watch that's 4 hours long is any of the Lord of the Rings extended editions. So,
There you go.
but yeah, overreaction. I hate it, but it's very funny at the same time. So, and I guess maybe we should bring up what the statistics are like outside of the U.S. because, in the States,
we're bringing up statistics.
yeah. So, I mean, actually, I didn't even look up what the statistics are in the States. I know that the number is much higher for circumcisions in the States, but in Canada, I looked it up last night, and the number of people who are circumcised in Canada is about 30% of people with penises. So,
Damn.
so it's that's higher than I expected, even. So it's very uncommon here.
Yeah, I'm having a look. I'm going to have a look in the UK first. Let's see. Let's have a look. The Americas, Europe. God, there's a lot of places in Europe. It's less than 20% in the United Kingdom.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, 15%.
Oh, okay. So even half of Canada.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous. Comparatively. I don't know. What is it in the US? I'm sure most folk, because as we've been talking to our American friends, they are I'm not saying our friends are circumcised, although they probably are. But from what they've told us, it's more common to be circumcised in America, but everywhere else, apart from countries where it's a religious thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
Okay, I just looked it up for the United States, and okay, so it says the overall rate among U.S. males aged 14 to 59 is 81% circumcised.
How?
I don't
know. This is ridiculous.
What do they even do with all that foreskin? Do they throw it in a pile and burn it? There's so much of it.
Chew it like bubble gum.
Okay, wait. What's the U.S. population? Okay, so 325.7 million. So 325.7 divided by 2. And then this number times, what did I say it was? 81%. So times 0.81. I'm finding out how many people have lost their foreskin in a tragic circumcision accident. Yeah, so about 132 million people in the United States are circumcised.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I love you for doing maths right now. I do. I love that about you.
Thank you.
We took a whole little detour just to get these statistics out there.
It's important.
That's ridiculously high because I think where we're from, unless it's a medical or religious issue, then you just don't do it. But there's that weird history of if you circumcise your kid, then they won't jerk off. I don't really understand what that's all about, but America's a weird place.
I don't know. I mean, circumcision is supposed to decrease the sensitivity slightly. So maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think the actual historical thing is it became popular as a way to combat masturbation, and then just kind of stuck. But it just seems unnecessary to do surgery on a baby.
Yeah, it really does. And then some people make the argument that it's cleaner, but that's only if you aren't washing your dick.
Yeah, wash your dick. Just teach your kids to wash their dick.
I don't understand why it's so hard.
But, yeah, so we are, I guess, more familiar with our friend, the foreskin.
Yeah.
But, although speaking of my mother, this is part in the kimono a bit, because she I told her we were doing this episode, and she was like, please let me be on. Because she's a big foreskin hater.
Well, why? What's wrong with it? Or as Mario would say, what's wrong with my penis?
Oh my god.
Anyway, what's her problem with it?
She just doesn't like it aesthetically.
I guess that's partly Charlotte's reason, because it really just is an aesthetic thing if you're the one receiving it. I mean,
yeah, there's not going to be any difference. It's just like it just isn't very pretty.
My thing is, I don't know if I'd know exactly what to do if it wasn't there, because like I feel like it's just so exposed, and I don't want to touch the top of it just bare. I don't want to touch the bare top, and it's just looking at you like with its eye, and I don't know what to do if it's not there.
Yeah, it's a bit it does look like a one-eyed snake, and I know that's a name, but no, I'm the opposite. I feel like aesthetically it's more pleasing with a hood.
Oh no, I agree. It's better to see when it's got the hood up. Yeah,
but because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the bell end. Like again, I think it just looks like a mushroom.
It intimidates me a bit because it just seems so raw. Like, it seems like
it's
something
like, I'm gonna get you.
Well, yeah, it seems like something that you don't want to touch without having something in between you and it. So, like, that's what the skin is for.
That's what condos are made for.
Well, yeah, but not for, like, everything. Like, you're only necessarily going to use that for, like, certain things. And those are things where I'm not going to be seeing it anyway. So, I don't know.
But, I mean, I think, yeah, we're just like, well, Miranda brings it up, you're dating the person, not the penis.
Yeah, so, yeah, because our next scene, they're at brunch, and Charlotte's just describing it, and they're having a big conversation about the whole thing, so.
It's a hot button issue. Samantha is on, I dropped my pen, but Samantha is on our side, and thinks they're nice.
Yeah, she loves it. She's like all about it. Which hats on to Samantha.
Hoods up.
Yeah, hoods up. Whereas Miranda and Charlotte are both, like on the other side. They're like, nah, not a fan. Charlotte's like the extreme.
Yeah, Miranda's just like, I don't know, I don't like it. I've never seen one. And
that's so weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've at least seen one. Like, I wouldn't. Well, when I was a kid, I thought it was the other way around. So, do you remember that episode of Friends?
What, you mean you thought that they like sewed it on or something?
No, right. So remember that episode of Friends where Joey?
Yeah.
This was weird. I don't know how I even understood what they were talking about when I watched this episode. But, he had to play a character in a nude scene. He had to be uncircumcised, but he was circumcised. So they tried to make a foreskin out of meat.
Yeah. Which
I was like kind of clued in, but also not. So I thought that it was like the head of the penis that they cut off.
The entire thing.
I thought they just cut off like a whole inch off of it, because I'd heard people talking about like inches and size, and I was like, okay, there you go. And then this episode, they say something like he's going to lose an inch or two. So I thought, they just cut the top off.
I hate this so much. Yeah.
I hate it too. I was so relieved when I found out what it actually was.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's very, I'm thankful that they don't do that, because that's bad. And, like, I mean, the thing is, no matter what you have, it's valid. It's like, it is what it is. And there's nothing, wrong with having it either way. I just feel like people who don't have it, people who do have it, tend to get like a lot of flack about it. At least in the United States. Like, it seems to be a big deal. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hate about how ugly it is. And I don't think it's fair to call something ugly, especially because, it's It's silly, and I like to think we're body positive.
Yeah,
so.
I think so too. And I think it's one of those things where it's like you know, you have what you have. It's not like it was your decision like most of the time. And even if it is, then that's fine too.
Like you said, it even happens when you're a baby, or it happens or you have like a medical issue. So it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not elective surgery.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I guess that's one of those things too where like I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like you might have had it done to you and that wasn't your choice at all, but also you might be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that to my kid because why would I need to do unnecessary surgery for no reason? But
yeah, I kind of feel like it's, when people get their baby's ears pierced.
Yeah, why? Let your baby decide if they want to do that when they're not a baby. Like,
it's like weird. It's like,
Yeah.
don't be putting any holes in your baby or cutting anything off until they can like choose to do that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and also I guess there's the argument that some people make where they're like, well, you know, and Miranda kind of brings this up too, where she's just like, you know, if I have kids, I am so circumcising them. Because like, I guess part of it is, you know, like if you live in the United States and it's super common to have it done, then you feel like, well, if my son doesn't have it done, then he's just going to get made fun of, maybe. But
I don't want to think about my son's dick, so.
right? Like, that's his problem, so.
Exactly. That's your problem, kid. If you want to get it cut off, go get it cut off.
Yeah, no, for
I don't
sure.
want to be thinking about my kid's junk unless it's like medical. I don't really care about someone who's like aesthetically pleased by my child's genitals. I don't want to think about that.
No, for sure.
No. And yeah, so Charlotte says a lot of things. I've written them down.
Oh, yes, please say.
So she said it looks like a Shar-Pei.
Uh-huh.
The dog, not the character from High School Musical.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy. That would be something.
It's gonna bop, 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 bop to the top.
Yeah, that is where it is.
She says he's from Connecticut, which I do not understand what that means.
Yeah, my favorite was when she says, he's a nice waspy guy. What went wrong?
Yeah, and like, I don't know. What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Also, a nice waspy guy seems like such an oxymoron. Like, what?
It also seems like she would refuse to date anyone who was not waspy.
Yeah, it does not make any sense, but yeah, everyone has a lot of things to say about this. Like, oh yeah, Charlotte also says she doesn't want a penis that has its own carrying case.
Sheath.
Oh boy. Oh, it is like a sheath.
Miranda says it's a penis, not Godzilla. I think that's Miranda.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Oh, Samantha says she likes it uncut. It's like a Tootsie Pop. Because it's hard on the outside with a surprise on the inside, which I don't know.
It's not a surprise. You know what that's going to be inside.
Exactly. It's not a surprise at all.
Like, no one's ever had a foreskin. You're like, what's that? And it's not a penis.
Yeah. Oh, and then Carrie drops a statistic. She's talking about in the entire world, I think. She says, 85% of men are uncut, which, how do you know that statistic off the top of your head? She clearly is not talking about the United States. She just means in general, I think. And Charlotte says they're taking over the world.
Like, how? They're not growing foreskins on people who've had them cut off.
Could you imagine, though?
Just like, oh my god, like, in The Shape of Water where he grows his hair back? He just touches his dick and then his foreskin comes back.
Could you imagine, though, if humans were similar to, like, lizards where you could just regrow your appendages and, like, if you'd been circumcised...
You had to get your foreskin cut. You had to get it cut off every year.
It's just like a haircut. Like, you just get it done, like, every once in a while. It's getting a bit long. Time to get a trim.
Oh yeah, I can't come today. I need to get my dick trimmed.
Oh no.
God, the ones where it like hangs over.
Yeah, I mean, Looker just pulled my headphone out. Yes, I do know.
He didn't want you to hear what I had to say. Which, he's right. He's protecting you.
He's so valid. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like they all kind of hang over a little bit. But
yeah, but the ones where it's like kind of extreme.
Oh,
and they look like
like Eeyore's nose.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one be like surprising or anything. I feel like they're kind of just, they just poke out a little bit. They just cover the top and then some.
Yeah, it truly does look like a turtleneck.
Yeah, it's true. I'm a big turtleneck fan, so
In
checks
both
out.
ways.
Yeah, it's good.
We've been talking about this for like 15 minutes, so we should probably move on.
We probably should. Yeah. Oh, there was one last thing in this scene that I thought was interesting, where Sam says uncut men are the best because they try harder, which that makes no sense to me. And then she says, "I've slept with 5 of them."
Wow. Out of how many? And then Carrie says like infinite.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm surprised it's only 5, but...
Yeah. I mean, what do we... If there's 20%, then I can't be bothered to work this out.
Yeah, I was about to be like, I feel like my number is close to that, but then I was like, wait a minute, I don't actually know.
Let's say she slept with 100 men, then 20 of them would theoretically be uncircumcised.
Yeah, true.
And she slept with at least 100 men.
I legitimately don't know if every penis I've encountered has been circumcised or not, because sometimes I just haven't looked at them because I didn't want to see it. So
you said this, and I still can't figure out how that's possible, but
I mean, I know the main ones, but I don't know. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
No, I'm not gonna get into this, but yeah. Anyway,
I want to keep that a surprise.
Yeah,
there's some stuff you don't need to know about your friends, and
yeah, no, for sure. And then okay, yeah. So then we cut to Carrie and Big are at a restaurant. And yeah, Big checks out a woman again, and Carrie's annoyed, and this whole scene is just really stupid. I hate it.
He is the most obnoxious, condescending person in this fucking scene.
Yeah, no, he's the worst.
So, like, he lights a cigar in the middle of a restaurant, which even in places with smoking, like, you still had smoking and non-smoking areas, and they were they would have, like, an ashtray on the table or a no-smoking sign. Like, it was clear where, and still you didn't smoke, like, a whole fucking big cigar, usually.
Yeah, who lights up a cigar at a dinner table? Like, I don't know. The idea of smoking an entire cigar by myself, too, also just sounds awful.
Yeah. The only time I've ever seen someone light a cigar in a restaurant is in, like, Goodfellas.
Yeah, it's not real life, so...
No, if you're in the mob, you can do that, but not if you're a normal person.
Yeah, but Big is the most obnoxious person in the world, so...
Yeah, so the waitress comes over and is like, "I'm sorry, sir, but can you put that out?" And he's like, "Oh, why do I have to put it out? I thought, I didn't see a no smoking sign." Blah, blah, blah. And she says, "I don't mind, it's for the other patrons." And he says, "Oh, well, if I ask the 5 people in the restaurant if I can smoke, is that okay?" And before the server can say anything, he starts going up to the tables and asking them if it's okay if he smokes, and he's going to buy everyone a drink. And he's just being a fucking dick.
He's being so shitty. He's like, "I'm getting executed tomorrow. Do you mind if I smoke this in here?" And like, I wish he was.
Yeah, true. It's probably just that it is a no-smoking restaurant, and she's just doing her job. Like, who likes a cigar? A cigar is a long-term commitment. It's not a cigarette and you'll be finished in a couple of minutes.
No, for sure. He's being an ass because he comes back and he's like, "Oh, well, they don't mind." And the waitress is kind of just like, "Okay," and then walks away. I don't know. Carrie, her voiceover is like, "I didn't want to tell him that he was bothering me right now."
Ugh, communicate with your boyfriend, you fucking idiot.
Right? She does call him arrogant, though. So, to his face.
Well, that's probably the kindest word she could have used.
Right? And then he's like, "I thought that's what you liked about me." And, ugh.
Just making, like, dick-sucking motions.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you see me, I'm from I go from a stage of rolling my eyes to jerk-off motions to dick-sucking motions of how annoyed I am at someone.
Yes.
But I don't want to say it, I just want to humiliate them. Anyway, so Carrie she sort of, like, confronts him, and she's like, because he checks out another woman who is wearing, like, a like a full-length vinyl trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
It's very BDSM.
Yeah.
And then Carrie is like, she grabs him and she's like, hey. He says, what? And she doesn't have the courage to say, don't fucking check out, go wooga wooga. I'm like, woman, when I'm standing right fucking next to you. So it's just this, I don't like you smoking cigars.
And then he uses this to kind of be like, see, you told me, because back in the restaurant, Carrie was like, well, even if they did have a problem with it, they probably wouldn't tell you.
He's like, yeah, you told me to my face.
Yeah, he's being very, very annoying. And Carrie kind of brings up, like, well, her voiceover brings up that this is like the phase of the relationship where like the things that you used to like about someone turn into liabilities.
Did she ever like, who's ever liked someone for staring at other women?
Right? Like, I don't understand. Like, maybe she was saying that she used to think that his arrogance was attractive, which is such an unattractive quality in someone.
I mean, I've been there where I've been like, okay, this guy's he's a bit cheeky, he's a bit cocky, and then I realized that he is arrogant and is a prick.
Yeah.
And not just like playing it up. He's like not playing it up, he's genuinely like that. I've been there before, but I don't think genuine arrogance is ever sexy.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. It's just very irritating, and Carrie hates it.
But yeah, so we go to a thoughtful corner.
Yeah, she's smoking in her apartment.
Yeah, she's typing away.
Yeah, because I guess her whole thing this episode is like, can she change a man? Well, that's the question. Can you change a man? And the thing she's wondering is kind of like, do I need to change my expectations or can I change him?
Yeah, and then we're on the road to nowhere because the talking heads are back.
Yeah, and we don't gain anything from them. Like, they're incredibly useless this episode.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't do anything. Okay, so the only thing that is notable about them is there's like a baseball organ playing fucking habanera, which I thought I was going crazy, like crazier than I already am. But why would anyone think that would be a good thing for me to hear?
Because it's this show which thinks bad decisions are good.
Yeah. And there's like comedy music over practically all of Charlotte and Mike's interactions this episode. Like,
yeah,
it's like fat people trombone music. It's really weird.
Yeah, it kind of is. This scene is this is a bewildering scene to me. Because so Charlotte and what is his name, Mike, they're like ending their date, and he basically is like, oh, do you want to come upstairs? And she says, oh, I gotta wake up early. Like, she's trying to get out of it. And he's like, look, I get it. I know it's the foreskin thing. And he's like not offended about it at all. And he says, I've decided that I'm going to get circumcised because I've spent my whole life dealing with people being weirded out by my foreskin.
This is really sad. We need a movie about this guy who's been bullied and shamed his whole life.
Truly, right? Like, this poor man has been shamed for his extra skin. It's not even extra skin, for his normal amount of skin. And
it's the skin he was born with.
Right? And Charlotte's kind of like, she's so excited by this. She loves the idea of him getting adult circumcised. And she's like, can you even do that? He's like, it takes a while to heal and it hurts a lot, but if you can wait, then, you can get that cut meat.
Get that deli meat.
Yeah, those cold cuts.
If it's cold, there's an issue, but...
True. Well, it's not wearing its turtleneck anymore. Of course it's going to be cold.
Aww. I'm just thinking this like anthropomorphic penis, just like, I'm cold.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and then, so that's their whole scene, and then we get Miranda and Steve. He wants to have morning sex again, or no, they do have morning sex, and then as soon as they're finished, Miranda, wants to get up right away, and he wants to cuddle. It's Saturday morning, so she doesn't have to go to work or anything.
It's so funny, though, because they cuddle, and she's like, okay, how long is this going to be?
Yeah, literally, though, she asks him that, and... Steve's just like, you got too many limits. Like, why do you care?
Hey, mama.
Then Miranda says, well, look, it's my free day. I got stuff to do. And she lists like a million errands that she's going to do. Like she's going to pick up her dry cleaning. She's got to get her nails done. She's got to do like she's got to go to spin class. And, you know, he tries to drag her back into bed. And eventually she's just like, okay, an hour and a half tops. And then they cuddle.
And then, according to Carrie's voiceover, 12 hours later, Steve went to work. So were they in bed for 12 hours? That sounds painful.
I have no idea. There's a happy balance between how long to cuddle and when to do other
Back
stuff.
pain.
Like I'm a huge
Sauce.
Well, true. Yeah, I am a huge fan of cuddling. Like I love it. I love to cuddle. And I love to cuddle after I wake up. But I don't want to cuddle for 12 hours straight.
No.
I mean, unless it's like overnight, unless it's like you fall asleep, sleep for 12 hours, sleep for 10 hours, cuddle for a bit. I don't know. But
if you're sleeping for 12 hours, still, that's a long time to sleep.
It really is.
Unless you're a baby.
I am a baby.
Then it's, I don't know how long babies sleep for.
The thing is, well, babies do the opposite. They sleep for like half an hour and then they're awake for like 2 hours and then they sleep for a half an hour and then they're awake for 2 hours. So
babies are valid though.
They really are. That's what happened when I held a baby this weekend. Slept in my arms for half an hour, just was out like a light and then was up again. And I was like, wow, power nap.
Oh, baby of the show.
Baby of the show. Yeah.
It's still cute though. But yeah, this is it's weird. I just don't like Steve. That's the honest to God truth of it.
Yeah, we hate Steve.
And we don't really have a valid reason yet. Just he's a bit obnoxious.
I mean, he's been obnoxious. He's been definitely obnoxious enough that I think we can validate not liking him at this point.
Okay.
But
okay.
Okay, so then the girls are out that night while Steve's at work, and they're playing bingo at a place that's like hosted by drag queens.
Yeah, it seems like it's a regular bar, but they say it becomes a drag bar on Saturdays.
I guess so. It seems like interesting that they'd combine drag with bingo, but
I don't know. I've heard of it before. Drag bingo, and like it's one of those things you can kind of just throw a drag queen on something and make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That makes sense. Yeah, they're at this place and Miranda's complaining about Steve and everyone else is kind of just like, shut the fuck up. Everyone wants to cuddle with their boyfriend and boyfriends, like loads of boyfriends don't want to cuddle at all. And so what the hell is your problem? So
this is like one of those, does anyone else brush their teeth in the morning?
True, right?
It's just, I don't know. I figured like maybe I'm the only person that likes to have cereal for breakfast. Is that weird? I fucking hate those posts. I hate that shit where it's like, oh, I really love my girlfriend. Isn't that weird? No, everyone does that. Everyone loves their girlfriend.
Yeah, it's very
boyfriend
stupid.
Or whatever. It's very stupid.
And Miranda feels like, you know, she's the one who has to change. She's the one who has to learn to cuddle. And Carrie gets on about this too, because she's like, I agree. The woman is always the one making changes. Which, Carrie, you need to make the change of breaking up with your boyfriend, but...
I mean, she's technically right, but also, yeah, you can break up. You can just not do that if you don't want to do that.
There's only so much you can change about another person, or there's only so much you should want to change about another person before you realize this person probably isn't for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if there are small things, but at the end of the day, if you want to change anything big, then they're probably not the right person for you, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that she talks about is the morning sex, and Sam says she loves morning sex because of course she does. She loves all sex, I guess.
Sex.
Yeah, and Miranda says she hasn't had morning sex since college.
And that was because she had 11 a.m. classes.
Then Charlotte's like, well, what if you made a schedule?
It does appeal to Miranda's type A nature.
Right? But then she's like, yeah, that's so sexy, having a schedule for sex. Which, I mean, like, I feel like you're going to have sex when you're in the mood to have sex, not when you've put it on your calendar. But, like, I don't know.
I mean, in a way, when you are having such different schedules, though, it does make sense.
Yeah, to kind of plan for it, I guess. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like, okay, on Thursday nights, you come over to mine, and, I mean, there's some implied sex going on.
Yeah. That sounds good. But Miranda doesn't like it.
No, she does not like it. Yeah, and then not Miranda. Charlotte starts talking about Mike and how, well, he's changed. He's getting a new dick.
Yeah, right? Well, because they give Charlotte shit. They're kind of just like, well, like, who are you to talk? Like, you broke up with a boyfriend just because he had foreskin. And she lights up, well, actually, he's having it cut off.
Actually, he's having a very painful surgery.
Yeah, and I can't wait.
He's been bullied by everyone he's ever slept with.
Including me.
There's this show, I think I've talked to you about it, called Naked Attraction in the UK, which is essentially a show where people just fucking judge each other on their dick or fanny.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I watch it a lot because it's kind of hilarious to see, like, 5 butt naked people in front. I'll explain the premise real quick. So it's a dating show, and you have your contestant, and then they have 5 naked people in boxes, and each round they raise up the box and show off a different part of the person. So it starts like waist down, so you see all their junk, and then it goes to chest, so you see their tits or chest or whatever, and then it goes to face, and then you hear them speak, and then when it's the last 2 people, the contestant comes out naked themselves, and then they choose the person they go on a date. And it almost, funnily enough, just purely judging someone based on what they look like, almost always ends with them not getting along on the date.
Wow, you don't say.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny to watch, of just like, there are 5 flaccid penises on my screen and someone's looking very closely at them and talking about whether they like it or not.
Yeah, that's...
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's really weird.
It's like, what if Tinder... It's almost like, what if Tinder had a version where, like, you were allowed to upload nudes as your actual, like, photos, basically. And that's what everyone did.
But the first picture was a nude without your face in it.
The very first
picture. And they didn't know your name or anything else apart from what your vagina looks like.
It's just a crotch shot, yeah.
Just like spreading you on the bed like, dupe. But, I mean, it's so weird because you'll see people and they will be like, I don't like uncircumcised dicks, or I don't like pubes, or that vagina's got a bit too much labia for me. It's like it's so upsetting, and I can't imagine someone just saying I mean, I feel like kind of almost ready for people to judge me on my face.
Yeah.
But for someone to say I have a weird looking minge is bizarre.
Yeah. I really can't even imagine. It's especially since it's one of those things where, like, anytime in real life that you'd have an encounter like that, it's like you've already known the person for a bit before you see anything else, usually, I guess.
Yeah, and if someone sort of said that, you'd tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd be like, fuck off.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, well then go home. Leave then. Bye.
I can't even imagine having, like, the kind of reaction Charlotte had where, like, you don't even straight up say, oh, I don't like this, but, like, it's very obvious in your face that you're like, oh, boy, like, that's not what I expected. Like, that's just so rude and just uncalled for, and it's just normal. It's just a normal body. Like, I don't know.
It's so upsetting, but...
Yeah, like, maybe if she pulled down his pants and he had, like, 2 penises and it was like, that was unexpected, then, like...
True, that's an unexpected thing to find, but...
Yeah, but finding a foreskin, that's not, like, that's just a normal thing that grows on your body, so, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, we meet a drag queen at the show.
Yeah, and it's someone Samantha used to know, or someone Samantha used to date.
Yeah, she doesn't recognize him at first, but, like, because obviously, you know, in full drag.
Yeah.
But apparently it's Brad, and they used to date, and he was like a hockey player, so obviously it's like, because he's all big and butch.
Yeah, very like, okay. I really didn't understand what the point of this was because it didn't really seem to draw back to the story in any way remotely, really.
No, but it's in like every plot breakdown is, Samantha's ex-boyfriend is a drag queen. And you think, that might be an interesting plot. I mean, it wouldn't be tasteful, but
Yeah.
it might be interesting at the very least. Like maybe because I mean, Samantha is a bit of a gay icon. So you would
True.
expect her to be like maybe at the drag bars and the gay clubs, and maybe
Mhm.
she's like hosting events and stuff. She seems like she would fit in naturally to that kind of environment.
Yeah, you'd think so. And then, I mean, maybe if the show is written today with younger writers, that could be the case. I feel like the way the show is written in like the 90s, it's very rare that they would handle something like this tastefully if they did make it an entire episode plot rather than just like a small tiny bit of the episode. Like it's like a 2-minute scene and they already make it kind of like, really?
And I think like now with drag being like a lot more accepted and having like a wider base of performers and fans.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be interesting to see, but from a modern perspective, but maybe not in 1999.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, because we get some really unfortunate, like, I hate some of the comments that, like, Carrie makes and stuff, because Samantha's kind of just like, how's life? And when did you make the change? And so Brad says, like, right after we broke up. And so then Samantha asks, how are the kids? And then Carrie makes a comment that's like, Jake has 2 mommies, which
It's gross, yeah.
It's not funny.
No, and I thought the implication was more that they're a drag queen, not they're a trans woman who's transitioned. It's just drag.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There is a difference. Like obviously there are drag queens who are trans women, but
absolutely.
This is like a cis guy who dresses up for entertainment and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're all being kind of weird about it. I understand Samantha being a little bit taken aback, but like Carrie making little catty comments isn't helpful.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things Carrie kind of says, I think this is her voiceover, is she's like, apparently Samantha could change a man. 'Cause like, I guess Brad started doing drag after they broke up and stuff. I don't know. That's all it really leads back to. But then we get then we get the boss who's just like, there's other people here who need boards, Samantha. So I guess Brad's drag name is Samantha, and Samantha's kind of just like,
Well, Samantha goes, I'm prettier than her, which I don't think anyone's going to argue with that.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah.
Samantha the drag queen hasn't even got very good. She hasn't got like drag makeup on really. It's clearly I don't know, it just looks like they've put I don't know how to say this. Just like regular makeup on, not like drag makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't understand. The whole point of this scene is I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just that it feels like a lazy like man in a dress joke.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I don't know. I feel like even drag queens, that's probably the cheapest joke they could make. So they tend to stay away from it of like, I'm a man in a dress. Like, okay, we know that. That's why we bought the tickets.
The whole thing is just kind of exhausting, but that's all we get of it, thankfully.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, it just makes sense. Like I said, Samantha is a bit of a gay icon. Like, she would make a great drag queen.
God, true.
Yeah, you look at like Liza or like Cher or like big personalities who are gorgeous and wear fabulous dresses. They always have some sort of like impersonator.
Yeah, like I can see why someone would want to do kind of an impersonation as your like big personality, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, I don't know, Samantha / Brad, the drag queen, seems kind of timid.
I mean, I maybe would be too if I ran into someone that I used to be dating and had made like a very big change in my life. So
It made a big change in my life and also based my job around them.
yeah, it's kind of an awkward encounter, but
Yeah. So let me move on to Carrie and fucking Big. And he has shown up. He showed up 30 minutes late to his own apartment.
yeah, she's pissed, which I would be too. I fucking hate when people are super late.
I hate when people are late, but he doesn't even have an excuse to be late.
No.
But Carrie's mad because she didn't have anywhere to wait apart from like the lobby of his building, and she's like, the doormen think I'm a cool girl.
Yeah, pretty sure he doesn't, but
Well, let's be real. If you're hiring an escort of some sort, they're probably not going to wait around in the waiting room.
not to mention she's been there a bunch of times.
Yeah, and I would imagine if, like, because it's still illegal, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, hey, just wait around, I'll come get you. You'd bring him straight up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And no one's gonna, I don't know, I can't imagine someone just like, oh yeah, sure, I'll wait for you if they're getting paid.
Yeah. Big's
It
kind of
seems
like
weird, but
Yeah.
Carrie's wearing like a zebra coat. I don't really understand what's going on. I kind of zoned out by this point.
Yeah, the whole thing's stupid. Big's like, well, there's a coffee shop across the street. Could have just waited there. And blah, blah, blah. They go upstairs. But Carrie's like, if I just had a key to your place, then I could just go wait up there. Then they go upstairs. And we kind of just flash forward to them sleeping. They didn't have sex. And
Excuse me, they didn't make love.
oh, yeah, they didn't make love. Sorry. My brain just went entirely blank when she said that phrase, and then it recalibrated. So
Yeah, they're in bed and they're sleeping. And Big rolls over and pushes Carrie out of bed.
yeah, while she's lying there awake, wondering if he can offer her enough.
So she, in retaliation, she just punches him in the face.
This makes no sense to me, but yeah, he yells, and then she's yelling. They're yelling at each other. He's like pissed. I mean, she punched him in the face. Like, that's reason to be pissed.
Yeah, it seems like it was like an impulse, but that's not your impulse when someone pushes you out of bed.
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on here. And he decides to sleep on the couch. He's just like, look, stop talking to me right now. Talking to me is bad.
And yeah, he's sleeping on the couch with like a tissue on his nose because allegedly he's bleeding.
Yeah, and like, well, I don't understand. Where did she punch him? Because right now he's got a bloody nose, but then we see him later with a black eye.
I don't know. And it's a real black eye. It looks bad. It looks like he's gone around with Mike Tyson, not a 98-pound, like 5 foot tall woman.
Pretty much.
Like, Carrie, like, she doesn't have any blooming muscle mass. Like, I doubt she knows how to fight.
No.
Carrie's really not going to be a tough match.
Yeah, I have no idea why he's hurt that bad, but he's also lying there with the light like entirely on, which it's like 4 a.m. So she comes out and she brings some ice for his face, and then she starts talking about all the things she's upset about because she's like, I've got to get it out of my system.
Well, she's holding the ice like over his head and it drips on him to wake him up, which, I mean, we've already spoken about how we do not like to be woken up.
Yes.
Dripping cold ice water, I feel I would kick off.
Yeah, this is just... I hate both of them so much in this scene. Like, Carrie, I'm so happy for you that you're finally deciding to talk to Big about your problems, but did you really have to do it at 4 a.m?
Yeah, and she's wearing like a little nightie, which is extremely nipply.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Carrie.
I feel like I can see her areola, and I don't want to. It's weird how she's the only one who doesn't get her boobs out in the entire series, but I've seen her nipples. I feel like I've seen more of her because I haven't seen like the full tit.
Mm-hmm, true. Yeah, we get lots of nipples from her. So it's like, we've basically seen it.
The nipple is the boob. Like, if you cover up a nipple, then you haven't seen a boob.
It's true.
But if you see the nipple, then you've seen the boob.
That's just boob facts.
That's just science.
Believe me, I'm a boob scientist.
Listen, this is the only type of science I would have any knowledge about. I'm not very good at science, but boobs, I know.
I honestly don't even know that much about boobs. I just know that they look good.
True. I know I want one in my mouth.
True. Don't we all? I mean, that's what they're for. So.
Literally.
Uh-huh.
This is terrible. Let's rush through this. She's like, these are the things I have an issue with. You must have, she says something like, you must have some issues with me. And he says, I'm not falling for that, which Carrie and I both agree that that's the smart move.
Yeah, no, that's smart of him to not, open his mouth. What he does say, though, is, well, she kind of finishes the whole thing by saying, I feel like I'm in your life again, but nothing has changed. And, I know I can't change you, but something needs to change. And then Big is just like, okay, well, physical violence is not the answer, which is true. Don't punch your partner, regardless of if you're a woman or a man. But
no, don't punch people at all. But also,
yeah,
I don't believe that this was a reflex. Because if you're falling, your reflex is to catch yourself, not to punch someone in the face.
I have no idea in what world that would be something that would be a good reaction, but I don't know. Unless she was lying in bed by herself and was suddenly pushed out of bed and was like, shit, there's someone else here. I'm going to fight them. But
yeah,
not the case.
Or if he grabbed her or something. If there was some sort of, but she just fell. And she was awake when she hit him, so I don't really trust Carrie. I feel like this was she is keeping so much rage bottled inside that it just comes out and it's not healthy.
No, exactly. She needs to let it out in doses when it comes to her, but she doesn't because she's the worst.
Well, she says it herself. She says, oh, you've been making me upset, but it's not your fault because I haven't told you, which isn't entirely true. But yeah, you should be telling someone if what they're doing is upsetting you.
Yeah, I agree. They're both kind of at fault, but they both just suck so bad at communicating that it's just exhausting to watch. So so Carrie leaves for the night, and then we cut to Charlotte.
Yep. And Mike has had his surgery. He's post-op. And yeah, Charlotte's like, oh, did it hurt? Which of course it did.
Yeah, he had an entire thing of skin just cut off. So obviously he says it hurt a lot. And then he says it's got to heal for a week or so before he does anything with it. And Charlotte's like, I can't wait. Which, Charlotte girl, this is such a bad idea. You have to know this is a bad idea. And like we said, if he's, all it is aesthetic. It's not going to change the blooming it's not going to change anything about the sex you're having. It's just purely she doesn't enjoy looking at it. But if everything else about him is perfect, then you'll just get over it. And we already know that Charlotte doesn't like to give blowjobs, so it's not like her face is going to be up close and personal with it, probably. So what difference does it really make in this case?
None at all. None.
Yeah. So they start to kiss on the street, and then suddenly he's just like, ow, 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 ow. And he bends over, holding his dick.
It's very comical.
Yeah.
He gets boner hurting juice.
Yeah.
No. It seems like he got a bit of an erection. It hurt because he just had surgery on his dick.
Yeah, maybe don't do this.
Maybe don't shame someone into getting unnecessary surgery. And this is America. He's got to pay for that.
Yeah, true. I wonder how much it costs to get your foreskin removed. Because
we'll have to ask our Yankee friends.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, write us in, send us a message. How much? Well, I feel like most of them would have had it done as a child. So I guess ask your parents, how much did it cost when they paid to get you circumcised? If you have, I wonder if you have siblings, if you can pay in bulk.
That's only if you have twins or triplets. And
true.
Maybe it's you get a little card at Subway or Starbucks, and your 10th circumcision is free.
Oh my God. That's why the Catholics started getting it done, or the Christians started getting it done in the US.
Because they had so many kids. Because
Yeah.
Catholics can't use con. Yeah, there you go.
Problem solved. Well, that sure was a problem that didn't need solving, but we sure solved it.
If I, what? I mean, maybe before you had running water, then it might be an issue.
Maybe. I don't want to think about old-timey smegma, but...
But, I mean, you can just do that with a flannel. I tell you what, I've been playing Red Dead. I've been thinking more about smegma in the past month than I've thought about it in my entire life.
What? What is going on in that game?
Because I'm playing it, and I'm like, oh, they're probably uncircumcised. My sexy boy, Arthur, my sexy cowboy. I'm like, oh, he's a real hunk. And then I'm thinking, oh, he's probably uncircumcised. And then I'm thinking, oh, well, the only time I can have a bath in this game is if I go into town and pay 25 cents to have a bath. So he's possibly going days without washing, like in the dirt, being all sweaty, riding around his horse. So he's got smegma. And I don't like to think about that.
I hate
but
it.
I have.
I really, really hate it. You're probably right, but I hate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Rockstar. Why didn't you put that in? You want this game to be so detailed. Show me his dick cheese.
Really don't like that.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Well, okay.
Just every time these boys sweat, that's all I can think about.
So, anyway, we move on to Miranda and Steve. So I guess Miranda's been waiting up at like 2 a.m, waiting for Steve to come home from work, and she like lights candles. She's got a long dress on. She
has like a sexy nightie, and then she has like she has like purple and pink. She has like a robe on. She's all satined up.
She looks good, and she says she's had like 5 cups of coffee. So Steve gets home, but now he's tired because, he just worked late. So Miranda's all like annoyed because as soon as he gets to the room, he lies down and is like pretty much falling asleep. And, the whole thing is just like, I don't want to have morning sex and, waste my whole day. So maybe you should just go home. And that's...
He's already asleep, which is so mean. And... he got the cab fare to go there. It's a little bit rude to kick a guy out of your house when he's already asleep.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to have sex at night like a normal person.
Like, there's not really a normal time to just bone down. It's kind of just when it happens.
I don't think 2 a.m. is particularly normal.
No, I don't think so either. It does seem a little bit late. But, I don't know. They're both annoyed with each other and Steve leaves, and that's like the whole scene. So...
Mm-hmm. And then Mike and Charlotte again. Yep. And they're together, and then he says he's ready to bone now. And he says, oh, this makes me a virgin, right? That's not how that works.
No, it's not. It's really not. Like, you realize that when you've boned before, the skin comes down, and it's like, I don't know.
I don't know if I want to woman-splain how, imagine saying, hey, you know how your own dick works, right?
I'm also, I would be incredibly afraid of this because, so this is the first time he's really had anything very sensitive happen to it since it's been exposed. So I'm assuming now it's going to be much more, well, maybe not much more sensitive because he's still, had an entire life where it's had some exposure, but I don't know.
It's going to be a little bit different for him. I wouldn't go as far to say it's virginity though.
Yeah, and it's also weird because he just had surgery on it, and he's like, I feel like a week is maybe wait a little bit longer. I feel like that's a fake amount of time. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it. Well, the older you get, the more time it takes for it to heal and everything. So
true. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, they're getting ready, and the comedy music is a full blast.
Yeah, and Carrie's voiceover says it was like Charlotte's birthday and Christmas rolled into one.
Oh my god, it's just Like, she's had sex before. What are they talking about?
It's kind of like she's just unwrapped a present and thrown the wrapping paper into the garbage. Except for the wrapping paper is his foreskin.
Oh my god. The wrapping paper is me. The wrapping paper is skin. Ugh.
Hate it.
But I don't know why she's so excited. She's had sex before.
I don't know. I guess the idea that a man would, like, cut off his penis skin just to be with her is like, oh my goodness, he's doing this just for me.
But he's not, because he's made it clear this has happened. Like, women have been kind of grossed out by it before, and he's just tired of it.
I guess she's trying to think about it as romantically as possible, which...
I mean, that's Charlotte for you.
Yeah, nothing more romantic than an adult circumcision, so...
Yeah, a grown-up bris is what we all want.
Truly, truly. So they have their sex, and then they make their love, and then afterwards they're like lying down together, and Charlotte's like, oh, like, what do you want to do on Saturday? I got some ideas with stuff we could do. And then he kind of is like, I'm not ready for this to be a big thing. Like, you know, Charlotte's very confused, like, but you just got your dick cut for me. What?
I mean, I'm confused too, because he asked her to wait.
Yeah, but then he's like, no, well, you know, it's a whole new me. I want to share it with the world. And Charlotte's like, you want to share your penis?
It's like you got a whole new dick, which I don't think that's how that works.
The thing is, I just don't understand. It's not like he got, you know, a mechanical dick put in. Like, he's just bringing to the market what everyone else has been bringing to the market this entire goddamn time. So it's not like he's like, ladies, check it out. So
you know how Sarah's gonna get her cyber pussy soon?
Oh yeah.
Is there gonna be like a techno dick?
Oh, like a techno dick that just is like go-go gadget dick, and then it just expands and
yeah. So you get a cyber pussy which has like Wi-Fi, and then you get your techno dick, and it's like, you ever see Wild Wild West?
I have not.
I guess I'm just on a cowboy kick. I'm like pretty sure, because Kenneth Branagh is a villain in that, and like he doesn't have like a lower half of his body, but he's a villain, so you know, evil disabled people. Yeah. And he has like a steampunk like sex machine. I'm pretty sure. So I imagine a techno dick would have to be like kind of cyber, not steampunk because that's corny and dangerous, but like a proper like cyberpunk, like cyborg penis, which I'd be into.
Interesting. The future is incredible.
Listen, if all that happens in a cyberpunk world is people get to have like fun new robo bits, then I'd say that's a pretty good future.
That's true. Robo titties are that would be the fucking bomb.
Oh my god, yeah, like in Austin Powers.
Yeah, I would love to fire lasers from my boobs.
Yeah, I'd just do it to like light candles.
You would never, oh my god, true. You would never have to worry about like sag in your life. You would just have perky metallic boobs forever.
Okay, so you know when it's cold and you put your hand on your boobs?
Yes.
Then, okay, so maybe these have like little warmers in them.
Oh, I want some.
I wouldn't want cold boobs, but I would, you know, just like put my hands in like them little pocket warmers.
Oh, I love that. The only downside to having metallic boobs is that they're no longer a good pillow.
True. Boobs are the best pillow.
They really are. But not my problem.
You take the good with the bad.
True.
So Big shows up.
Well, this is the end of Charlotte's relationship too. They literally break up because of this.
Well, I'm pretty sure you would.
Well, yeah, no, for sure, because he's basically just like, well, I want to share my penis with the world. So, like, obviously, Charlotte wants to be, you know, committed and monogamous. So that's the end of it. But
R.I.P.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then a fallen soldier.
Yeah. And then Carrie and Big. Thank God this is almost over.
So, like, when we say black eye, and I mean, obviously Carrie could probably give someone a black eye, but this is literally black. Like, he looks like he's been in an accident. It's a bit extreme.
Yeah, it looks like he's done up some makeup to like show up at her apartment.
To like really guilt trip her and make her feel bad.
Yeah, pretty much. But she doesn't seem to feel bad about it at all.
No. I mean, well, I think I'm just shocked because I've hit my face a lot of times and I don't think I've ever had a black eye.
No, I never have before either.
No, I just got a strong face.
Oh, so strong.
Yeah, she does not feel bad. She's wearing like a Cookie Monster tracksuit.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but
She's got like, this is wild. So she's got like red, like high waist, like very 2000s tracksuit pants on. Like it's very Gwen Stefani, and no doubt. And then like a matching like little vest t-shirt, like tank top thing with the Cookie Monster on it.
It's good. I love it.
It's like pajamas, but they're clearly not pajamas.
Yeah, so she pulls him in, and I guess he's willing to kind of talk about some of the things that she brought up. Like, he's kind of just like, okay, well, you know, maybe you need a key to know that I'm crazy about you, but, you know, I keep giving out keys and I never get them back. And then he's like, well, maybe I hog my bed, but, you know, it's my bed. But he's like, I like you in it.
It's my bed, but you're still inviting her around.
Yeah, right? So...
yeah, he admits something he doesn't like about her is that she eats oranges in bed.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, it's sticky, and it makes the sheets sticky.
How is she eating these oranges?
That seems like the kind of thing where it would be kind of like, if you had this problem, then like, it's something that's so easy to just bring up. It's not like they're going to be offended by it, but...
I don't like when people eat in bed, and it's my bed, so don't do that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
valid. That's a fair enough concern if you don't want someone eating in your bed.
Yeah, exactly. But he's so bad at communication that he couldn't say this till now. And then Carrie's like, well, what will you give me for the oranges? Like, it's a compromise that they'll both change themselves for... You know, she'll stop doing something that's entirely harmless, so he'll stop doing something that's really shitty, I guess.
Pretty much.
And then, so Big finally decides to stay the night at Carrie's for the first time ever. Like, he's never stayed over at her place before, which is wild, but... And then basically the end of the episode, well, the end of Carrie's part of the episode is just like, neither of them are changing anything, but they're at least talking about it.
Yeah, and she's eating oranges in bed and he's smoking a cigar.
In bed. Yeah.
A lot of people have died because they've smoked in bed, but unfortunately Big isn't one of them.
No. Sadly. I wish he would. Yeah, that's it. And then the last scene of the episode is just Miranda and Steve. She gets a call at 2 a.m, and I'm confused about if this is the same. I think this is a different night than before.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, and so she's wide awake in bed. It gets a call. We can see it's 2 a.m. from her alarm clock. Exactly 2 a.m. on the dot. And she gets a call from Steve, and he's like, well, I didn't want to bug you, but, like, just go look at your window. Like, look out your window. And he tells her to look at the moon, because it's, like, a blue moon, and so it's really big.
Yeah, and, like, she goes to look at it. I guess he knows where the moon will be in her apartment.
I guess so, yeah. And then she's like, so she finds this so charming. She's like, come over when you're done and we'll make love. This was one of the times in my notes where I wrote, then they bone, and then I put in parentheses, make love. And then they do it again in the morning, and Miranda's an hour late for work and she didn't even notice.
Oh, every problem is solved.
Right? The very last thing we hear is Carrie's stupid voiceover saying the dumbest thing in the world, which is, maybe you couldn't change a man, but once in a blue moon you could change a woman.
Well, she said earlier this episode that women always change.
Right? Like, I have no idea what's going on. And it's true, like, men do have a tendency to not change what they're doing, but that's none of my business.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, it kind of is.
That's true. It kind of is, but I'm not having the problem personally. So it's none of my business for other people's relationships, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So that's it.
Yeah. Rankings, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, okay, so Charlotte's story was my favorite this episode, but Charlotte herself I didn't find valid. So, like...
At least, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I found it really entertaining. So, like, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put Samantha on top because she was so pro foreskin that I liked that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought you were going to do like a weird ranking, like out of 10. Out of how many pastas would you give her?
Samantha, well, she didn't do much this episode. I feel like I'd give her like 7 pastas out of 10. Or no, I'll give her 7. I'll give her 4 whisks out of 5.
Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't like her stupid scene later in the episode, but I did like her pro foreskin arguments. And then I'll give Charlotte 3 whisks out of 5 because I thought her story was really funny, but I didn't think she was valid herself. And Miranda, I think, okay, actually Miranda also gets 3 out of 5 because I thought she was incredibly valid for not liking morning sex and having stuff she wanted to do during the day. So that was valid. So her and Charlotte are kind of like tied. And then Carrie's at the bottom because she sucked. She was like 1.5 whisks out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd more or less agree with you. Yeah, Samantha didn't really... I think it's a bad week when the person who doesn't have a storyline is at the top.
I know, it's true. Well, the thing is, I thought the episode was entertaining enough. So, like, you know, I've been looking forward to yelling about this episode for a long time. So,
yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it's sad that she's at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I might swap Miranda and Samantha around, but that's more or less it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's it. Questions.
Yeah, we have 3 questions this week.
We do, and if you want to send us in more questions, then you can send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask. First one is from Tumblr user PR the Disaster, who asks, "Hey, what's your take on the SATC movie 3? Apparently it was cancelled because Mr. Big died, and a lot of the movie was Mr. Big / Carrie, Mr. Barry, ? In parentheses. Angst, and not much plot for everyone else. Was it valid to cancel? Would you have gone to see it either way?"
You know, I would have gone to see it regardless, I think.
Yes, same. I mean, especially if we were doing this at the time, then we would kind of be legally required to see it. Well, not legally.
Yeah.
No one's
We'd be arrested and put on death row if we didn't do it.
Do you know what? If we died for that, then that's fine.
The government would, you know, like take us into holding, and they'd like Clockwork Orange style make us watch the movie. Yeah.
So yeah, we probably would go see it. I mean, more info came out today about another reason why it was cancelled.
Oh, I hated this.
I hate this so much. Okay, so we haven't got there yet, but if you didn't already know, Miranda has a kid, a little boy called Brady.
Brady?
Then Brady?
Brady?
Brady.
Well, his name is Brady Hobbs, but it's very funny because, I guess, spoiler alert, Steve's last name is Brady, so it's kind of like his name is Brady.
And, like, yeah, it's Steve's baby, so his name is Brady. And so basically by the time of this movie, he would have been 14. And then the plot for Samantha would have been A, comforting Carrie after Big's death, and B, getting dick pics from a 14-year-old.
Yeah, extremely bad. I hate it.
How is that a plot? How is that not you just show? If your friend's kid, who is underage, was sending you essentially child porn, you would just go up to your friend and be like, "Hey, fucking sort your kid out because I can get arrested if anyone sees this."
Yeah, no kidding. It's incredibly fucked up. Like, how is that a story? There's nothing behind it. There's literally one resolution to that story.
Yeah, which is just go talk to Miranda and fucking slap Brady around the ear. Like, I'm not into hitting kids, but if you're sending dick pics and you're 14, then you can take a fucking clip around the ear.
That's incredibly, especially if you're sending dick pics to, like, grown women.
You're sending a dick pic to, like, a 60-year-old woman.
Yeah, like, I guess it's different if you're dating someone else who's your own age and you're, like, already having sex, even though that's, I mean, I don't know what the normal age for people to start having sex is, but, like, not that there is a normal age for that, but...
But, like, the average age, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, if you're with someone else your own age, it's different, and they want to be receiving those photos, but if you're someone who's, like, 60 years old and you're 14, that's just...
Yeah, and like you still shouldn't be. I mean, if you're I don't think anyone who's underage listens to this, but obviously, even if you are with someone who's the same age as you, don't send anything nude because it's illegal.
Yeah, it's a bad idea to do. Don't do it. It's...
Yeah, so fucking no wonder she didn't want to do the goddamn movie.
I think that's absolutely valid that they canceled it, because there's no reason for it. Like, if the characters are getting bad stories, and, like, as much as I want to see Big die, if the entire story is just Carrie being sad about him being dead and everyone else comforting her, and, like, that's the story, and we're supposed to feel sad that he's dead instead of, like, overjoyed, then I don't really care. Like,
I mean... So, like, I don't like the movies because at the end of the series, everything is wrapped up really nicely for everyone. And then the movies kind of ruin it.
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
really do.
They take away everyone's arc, and it's fucking terrible. Like, everyone has a growth, and they're at, like, completion by the end of the series, and then the movies just ruin it.
Yeah.
And, like... I think it's the first movie, we see Carrie go through, like, some depression, and it's, hey, remember everyone who watched Twilight New Moon, where, oh my god, in the book, okay, all right, so in the book, when Edward dumps Bella, and it's just, like, September and August, it's just, like, months,
When she sits at the window, yeah.
Yes! And then the book is just like September, October, December, and it's just blank because nothing fucking happens because she's just depressed for like 6 months. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. And it's so... Okay, so when I was like 12, I was like, this is the most painful thing I've ever seen. And then, I mean, as a 10 years later... I kind of fucking, it's boring. It's boring and I hate it. So
yeah.
I don't want to see Carrie be depressed over fucking Big.
Yeah, same. We get enough of that in the fucking series. We don't need a movie about that. So
no. If there's a movie, I like Kim Cattrall basically said, if there's a movie, then it should be about their friendship and the sisterhood and everything. And that's what it should be about. Like, say what you like about the second one. It is just them being stupid and like in another city.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm assuming we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there one day.
We'll get there in 2025. We'll get there.
You got that to look forward to.
Next question. Thank you for your question. Next one. Actually, the next two are both from a friend of the show, Sarah. aka Chisa Tonkas on Tumblr, who asks, Carrie Bradshaw voice. And I started to wonder, was the foreskin the modern marker of a high-class man?
I mean, now that I'm thinking about, you know, old-timey penises having, you know, big-time smegma, now I'm kind of like, well, you know, if this was the olden times, having a clean foreskin would be kind of a marker of a high-class man. But Sarah is asking modern marker.
Big Time Smegma is my favorite Bjork song.
What if it was called, what if Red Dead Redemption was called Red Smeg Redemption? Or Smeg Red Redemption.
Oh my god, the whole game is about, like, doing all crimes to raise enough money to get your old-timey circumcision.
Great.
Yeah. So, I don't think it's a modern marker. No, I don't. Because, well...
It's just, it's really,
How are we defining class?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we can really set a bar for that.
Because I would imagine the royal family are not circumcised.
True, and they're not valid, so...
No, but they're high class.
That's true, unfortunately.
Yes. I'm going to say no, because I feel like a classy gentleman, you don't know if they're circumcised or not. You gotta find out.
That's true. You know what's really bad to think about? The fact that not our wet president, but the wet president of the United States is probably cut.
Oh, is this going to be the new Hitler who was a vegetarian? Like,
what does that just mean? Like, oh, he was a terrible person, but he did this one. Wait, this isn't even.
So if you say you're a vegetarian, then you'll get some like smug arsehole who'll be like, Hitler was a vegetarian. So it's like, even though I think they're trying to say, even though you think you're doing something good, like the worst person in history also did the same thing. I don't really understand what they're trying to say, but usually it's to like shit on you for being a vegetarian, which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's
also,
shitty.
I don't even think Hitler was a vegetarian.
I've never heard that before, but I'm also not vegetarian, so people don't give me shit for absolutely no reason all the time. So
it's so stupid, and I just feel like, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm circumcised. And you're like, well, Trump was circumcised. Like, it's just a non sequitur.
If you're circumcised, you're basically equivalent to Donald J. Trump. So, God, you know what? Okay, last night I had a dream that Trump was executed for his crimes. Like, he was tried for crimes on live TV, and then immediately after they found him guilty, they executed him on live TV. It's kind of like that, except for instead of guillotining his head, it's just like a guillotining his foreskin.
Oh, you just make a little mini guillotine.
A little mini guillotine, and just that's what they should do. Is circumcision should be a way to mark the people who have far too much money. So like, if you had your penis head cover cut off by a guillotine, it's a marker that you have had far too much wealth.
Oh my god. This is, I mean,
in that sense, it would be a marker of maybe class.
It wouldn't really make sense, because how would you know unless everyone was walking with their dick out?
I mean, true. I don't know. I just love the idea of circumcising the rich as praxis.
For like a pacifist in the revolution, like, hey, what if we didn't behead them? Mm-hmm. What if we customized their head?
Like, just like the end of Inglourious Bastards when they carve the swastika into Christoph Waltz's head, except for instead of doing that, it's like cutting off a penis head. Not the head, but the skin.
Oh my god! Actually, I would be down for a marker of carving swastikas into Nazis' heads. Not killing them, just letting everyone know they're a Nazi, so that you can beat the shit out of them every time you see them.
True. That's a very good point. I mean, I also am a fan of them dying, but I also like that too. So,
but no, I mean, I think because like circumcision is a religious thing as well. Like, you know, I don't want someone who's just a regular person who's circumcised getting in trouble. If we did do the marker thing, we would have to abolish religion, which would be kind of difficult. That's
a very hard thing to do. And I don't think that's exactly like an ethical, or I don't think that's a thing that I want to do. So
no,
I don't know. But yeah, for sure. I guess it's really hard to say whether it's a class thing or not, because it's kind of just like people of all walks of life have different ways of doing things. And so, yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to put that on anything.
God, we put too much thought into that question.
Way too much. But, you know, if we could start with a blank slate, you know, just tabula rasa, and everyone just magically has foreskin again, then maybe it could be a class marker. But
yeah, with the co-rulers of the world, then we might do that. I don't know.
We could have foreskin reinstatement surgeries for people who want to get them put back on.
Oh my god, you get like a skin graft. Actually, I think that is a thing.
It might be.
Because there are people who are like really pissed off they got circumcised, but I don't know.
That just makes me think that they pissed so hard that it came off.
Then you would be mad. You're like, oh shit.
Oh my god. It's a mental image. It's good.
It is. All right, last question. As we said, is from Chisa Tonkis on Tumblr. She asks, What are your thoughts about those, like, Facebook groups that are weirdly obsessive about not cutting baby foreskins? Like, I'm obviously in favor of not doing that shit to babies, but those groups are weird in a way that I can't put my finger on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like it's kind of weird to make that, like, your number one priority to give a shit about what other people do with their children. Like,
yeah, I mean, if it's not, like, fucking, like, the only thing I care about people doing to their kids is vaccinating them.
Yes, that's true. I care about that a lot, so.
But, I mean, I think because, like we said, like, the main groups of people who regularly circumcise their kids are like Jewish people and Muslim people, and I gotta say those people get a lot of unnecessary hate. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does feel kind of weird to me to have like an entire Facebook group for that. I've never seen one before, but I definitely believe you that they exist. Like, people are fucking weird. I don't know why you need to make a big deal about it. Who gives a shit? I mean,
No,
I'm not. If I have sons or if I have kids with penises, I am not going to do that. But like,
yeah, same.
It makes no difference to me what other people have done. Like, I mean, obviously it's a safe practice. It's unnecessary, but like safe. So it's not like people are going out there being like putting their children in mortal danger, and it's something I have to care about. So
yeah, I mean, it's literally like it's one of the safest surgeries you can get, pretty much. So there's not really any danger. It's just a weird controlling of someone else's body before they can consent to it. So, but like, I guess there's maybe a need for like this discussion to happen in somewhere like America where non-medical, like non-religious circumcision happens. And like, I mean, even in religious groups, there's probably an intra-community discussion that can happen about that there.
yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It's weird. It does feel like maybe you're trying to just put a bit of hate on another culture.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of why it comes off as not great.
It's like icky, yeah, but I think it is a conversation to have. I mean, listen, I don't have a dick. I've never had any kids, and so it's not really anything that I think about very often.
Yeah, agreed. The only time I think about it is when I think about this episode of Sex and the City. So,
yeah, pretty much. All dicks have a purpose. And they're good. They're not the prettiest thing in the world, but they're practical and pragmatic, and I appreciate that.
yeah, I wouldn't say I stan them.
No.
But I think that they're valid, no matter what they look like.
I support them. Mm-hmm. I support dicks.
Me too.
I'm with them. Yeah, they're like a donkey.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton voice. I'm with her, but her is dicks.
We're with girl dicks, especially.
Especially, yeah, the most valid of all.
The most valid. Yeah, if we're ranking them, like there is a level. They're like mules. They're not the prettiest thing to look at, but they get the job done, and they've helped us as a human race, and they could be fun on the beach.
On the beach?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have donkey rides in Canada.
I don't know what that is. Donkey what?
If you go to a British beach, it's the most miserable place in the world, but they have like a donkey and you can ride it like around in a circle.
Like an animal?
Yeah, like a donkey. like a live donkey.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Like, no one goes to the beach anymore. They were used to in like the 50s, and it's kind of you put like your kid in it and they ride it around. It's probably like I don't know.
This is like that one Tumblr post that's like, is it just Texas or does everywhere take pickles to the movie theater? And I'm like,
the one where it's like the knife fan. The knife fan.
That's literally Alex Leaf Crunch's post of our Discord.
Oh my god, icon.
Yeah, the knife truck. I think that's a Canada thing. So, because Alex is Canadian, so.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess everywhere, like, if you're American, it's pickles at the movie theater, and then if you're British, it's donkey rides on the beach, and then if you're Canadian, it's the knife truck.
I was talking about the circumcision episode in Discord last night with some friends, and our friend of the show, David, made a comment that was like, who needs their circumcisions done? The knife truck's coming around.
I think if we should, God, that's us from an evil universe. I was going to say we should offer to do the circumcisions, but we're not into that, so.
Yeah. And I'm not a surgeon.
Evil.
Please don't make me
that's
do
like
this.
Naga, Stephanie, and Alex. Jesus. Okay. Should we say goodbye?
I think we should wrap this one up. Yeah. You can follow us pretty much everywhere at City Girls Make Do. Tumblr, Twitter, you can email us, citygirlsmakedo@gmail.com. And yeah, follow me on Twitter at Age of Oddish and on Tumblr at Windfall Island.
And you can find me on Tumblr at Dork Phoenix.
Yep. And you can find us on noisespace.xyz. There's a podcast for every single one of your needs. So
yeah,
enjoy it.
Check out our friends and enjoy yourself. You might find something new.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy yourselves and thank a local... Wait, no. I was going to say thank a local circumcision doctor, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't go with the theme of the episode. Thank a foreskinned penis today. Bye.
Okay. Play Red Dead Redemption. Think about smegma. Good night.